Well, good evening, fastball fans, and welcome to the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. This evening's game is the winner bracket final, featuring the visiting team, the New York Gremlins, taking on the Circle Tap Dukes here on the ISC Network. I'm Blair Setford with my partner this evening, Joe Todd. And Joe,
one of the other points that we talked about will be hold down the big innings by the Gremlins. Gremlins had a few big innings all through the week. And then for the Circle Tap Dukes to play with a lead. They're a real tough team to come back with Roman Godoy on the mound.
So Joe Todd giving us our three keys for the game here as we get set for the winners bracket final here at the 2018 ISC World Tournament in Kitchener, Ontario, here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. I'm Blair Setford with Joe Todd here on the ISC Network. Going to be a good one here tonight. We're excited for this one. It's Matthew Waugh stepping in to lead things off for the New York Gremlins. Roman Godoy out on the board for the Gremlins, throwing to Leo Latassa behind the plate. They've been the battery for most of the week here for the Circle Tap Dukes. Godoy will be a key for Circle Tap if they want to advance directly to the ISC Championship game. One of the top young throwers in the game. Roman Godoy at times been touted as the next best thrower in the world. And he gets a called strike on the outside corner.
Pitched a great game on Thursday night against Hill United.
And as brilliant as he was in that game at times, he has been come up with mixed results, I guess. Let's call it that, Joe Todd. Somewhat inconsistent. And I think when he can find that consistency. Here's a 1-2 hopper out to Daniel Dalton at second base, and they get the leadoff man, Matthew Waugh. So a good start for the Circle Tap Dukes.
Come on, Romy.
Jerome Remeke will come up. He'll be followed by Ben Anoka, then Andrew Kirkpatrick, Eric Ochoa, Ladislaw Malarczuk, Zenon Winters, Brian Avery, and Nick Mullins will bat in the 9 spot as you see Jerome Remeke tamping down the loose dirt in the batter's box. Zane Ben Elijah, Matt Ratliff, and Manuel Godoy left to right around the outfield. This one is upstairs. Tom Crouch, Federico Eder, Daniel Dalton, and Blair Ezekiel around the horn in the infield, and Godoy working to Latassa.
Jerome 4 for 10 so far in the tournament with a big home run.
Big cut there, but comes up empty. Remeke, lots of pop here from the left side. Can slap the ball at times when he wants, and has good speed for somebody with his power. Godoy right on the board, ready to go as Remeke steps back in. This one is down and away on the outside corner. Joe, when you look at these two teams, it really reflects the international in the ISC. You have Kiwis, you have Argentines, Canadians, Americans, Australians. It is truly an international game that we have here in the ISC, and I think it is absolutely wonderful to see all of this blend of the best ball players shaken up and mixed up and spread across all of these teams here that are getting down to, we started the day with 8, we're down to 5. Make that 4, actually. We know who the final 4 will be, we just don't know the order. Remeke works a walk, and that will bring up the very dangerous Ben Inoka. So this is the kind of thing, if you are a Circle Tap Dukes supporter, you don't want to see. You don't want to see Roman Godoy putting guys on base for free. If you were with us for last night's game between Hill and Dukes, you You saw what happened when Adam Falkard put 6 guys on. It ultimately cost them the ball game.
Walks will come back to haunt you for sure. Free passes just cannot be in this stage of the tournament.
Very deep out in right field is Manuel Godoy.
Jerome Ranaki getting a good jump off that bag every pitch.
Leo Latassa takes a long look down at first before flipping the ball back to Godoy. Latassa has an absolute hose for an arm back behind the plate. Very tough to run. Called strike in the inside corner.
The umpires for tonight's game, Brandon Bloom from Chehalis, Washington at the plate. First base, John Hamm from Maple Park, Illinois, and Jan Hora from the Czech Republic at third base.
Well, it's the winner's bracket final. You wouldn't expect to have anybody else out there. Anoka lines this one to left, going back, making the catch in front of the fence is Zane Van Lyshout. And a good one as Anoka hit that hard. Then Lyshout barely had time to turn and retreat back a couple of steps. Had to reach up and reel that one in.
Good read right off the bat by Van Lyshout.
That'll bring up Andrew Kirkpatrick, and perhaps nobody, Joe, has been hotter this summer than Andrew Kirkpatrick. The MVP of the USA National Tournament. He's been smashing home runs and pitching the Gremlins to tournament titles all over North America.
He loves that number 4 spot. That's why he's there.
Here's a 1-2 hopper to Blair Ezekiel, and even Blair will beat Andrew Kirkpatrick to the bag. So the Dukes work around the 1-out walk. We will head to the home half with Circle Tap coming to the plate.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
So back here on the ISC network, you'll get a good look here at what Brandon Bloom sees as the home plate umpire. Taking a look right over the shoulder of catcher Nick Mullins to see what it's like to face Andrew Kirkpatrick. His defense is Matthew Waugh in left, Ben Anoka in center, Brian Avery in right. Around the horn, Jerome Remeke, Jenner Christensen playing shortstop tonight, not in the batting order. Ladislaw Maller-Zook at second base, Eric Ochoa playing first. Zenon Winters is the designated player for the Gremlins tonight.
I really like the black and gray uniform.
I am really impressed with the broadcaster-friendly numbers that Circle Tap finally came up with after the forest green on black set that they had for several years, where you couldn't read the numbers unless you were 3 feet away. These are a new set of uniforms as well for the Gremlins. I saw the design of these on Greg Leather's phone the other night at the restaurant, debuting them tonight. I think they look pretty sharp, Joe.
Yes, I do too. Really sharp.
That's why you don't stand in the opposite side batter's or warm-up circle there, Mr. Zane Van Lyshout. That ball missed your head by about 4 inches.
They do give the
you absolutely have the right to go around the
on-deck batter that option.
Big cut, and that one got Brandon Bloom as Nick Mullins whiffed on that entirely. Not the first time we've seen that this week either.
No, not at all.
The Blue Crew have
taken a beating.
Taken a beating exactly back there this week. Lou Davis with a head wound that required a large Band-Aid for several days. I'm sure he's still got that on underneath his ball cap. Brandon Bloom has done a great job here this week with the IC2 championship game yesterday. He's been fouled back to the screen. I've had Brandon in several of the games that we were involved with the Three Cheers team, as well as with John Hand. Tony Dixon did a couple of our plates, did an absolutely fabulous job.
A great crew.
Working at a terrific pace here is Andrew Kirkpatrick, throwing a pitch every 15 seconds, it seems like.
I like that, and his infielders will like that too.
Yeah, nobody's going to complain. Eater with the slap, gets it down on the ground. Going to be a hard play. Can't come up with it as Jenner Christensen. He was going to have to field that perfectly and make a great throw, and couldn't come up with it cleanly. And Joe, I'm giving that a single. I'm not sure that he was going to get him. Are you going error?
No, I think the wheels of Eater would have convinced me that Jenner Christensen kind of rushed that play just because of the wheels going down that line.
Well, we've seen some harsh scoring from the people over in the scorers booth. I'm going to suspect they're going to give him an error. Zane Van Lyshout will step in. Zane's moved up in the batting order over the course of the week. He tries to put down the bump, but it goes foul.
A couple of changes since their last game there.
Yeah, Guillermo Patat getting into the lineup from the last time that I did a Dukes game at least. Here's the designated player. He was not in the lineup earlier in the week. Daniel Dalton has been the DP. He's been at second base. He's been in the outfield, showing his versatility. He's come off the bench as well.
Move Matt Ratliff down.
Swing there, can't hold up. Both of these catchers throw very well, so stolen bases will be at a premium here tonight. Mullins used to be a Division A or Division I catcher, I guess it is, in the U.S. with the University of Pittsburgh. This one's downstairs. He started the week at shortstop, and they had Avery behind the plate, but they've worked out with Jenner Christensen moving into the shortstop spot. Mullins back behind the plate, and Avery did a great job in right field last night in the game against the Cubs upstairs. For those of you who didn't stay up with us until 1:30 in the Cubs game last night, shame on you, number one. But you missed a great grab by Brian Avery in the bottom of the first inning, stealing a home run from Juan Zera, crashing through the fence as he made the grab. Downstairs to Van Lyshout.
First time to a full count for Andrew.
Well, it's only the second batter, Joe. Come on,
Yeah,
get the guy right.
I'm keeping track.
All right. Just missing outside. So a leadoff. We still don't know if they've given them a hit or an error. They're deliberating long and hard over there in the scorer's tent. Van Lyshout aboard with a walk, and a pair of runners here for the Dukes. And Joe, we talked right off the top, you talked about the Dukes getting ahead early and playing with a lead, the importance of that for them.
The other key we talked about was defense, so we'll make sure the Gremlins defense in this situation is really sharp.
Turns and squares, and this one is bunted foul as it rolls back through the opposite side batter's box. So the more I think about that play, I'm leaning more towards error, to be honest with you. Christensen, that's a play you have to make. It's not, it's a ground ball in front of him. It's not like he had to range 16 feet to his left or to his right. Foul back to the screen. 0-2 on Manuel Godoy. If you're just getting in with us here on the ISC network, we started 15 minutes early. There is some weather circulating, some bad weather circulating in the greater Kitchener-Waterloo area. We want to get as much of this game in as we can, and hopefully all of it, unless or until we run into a weather issue. And this one is off the foot of Manuel Godoy at the plate. Blair Setford, Joe Todd here on the ISC network. We are in the bottom of the first inning. For the Gremlins in the top of the first, it was a walk to Jerome Remeke. Nothing else across. Here for the Dukes, Federico Eder reached. We're still debating whether it was a hit or an error. Nonetheless, he's out at second base. Zane Van Lyshout then walked Manuel Godoy, as you just saw, down on strikes. And that brings us to Blair Ezekiel. Blair wearing number 65 and pretending that he is Ryan Sinclair. I don't know if he's trying to pretend that he also has Ryan's wheels, but
he wishes.
He didn't either didn't get or didn't bring his gray jersey to the park.
Imagine a fine was in place because he wore that same sweater last night.
He did last night too. And I'm wondering if now they don't want to change it because of the luck involved. You know how ball players are. We're not superstitious at all. I see we like I still play. Downstairs. Nobody would have any more familiarity with the Gremlins than Blair Ezekiel. He is caught for Andrew Kirkpatrick. He's played infield with Andrew Kirkpatrick. They've traveled together.
Good friends.
Laced right back up the middle. They're going to send the runner. Here's the throw, cut off by Kirkpatrick, or rather Ochoa. And the Dukes do indeed score early and will play from out in front. Good job there by Blair Ezekiel. Hard hit right back up the middle.
I'm impressed with the wheels of Federico Eder. Just did not hesitate at all. Quick from second to home.
Oh, I'm sure he was getting the wave all the way from Scott Standifer over there in the third base coach's box.
Good play by Van Lieshout too to stay at second. Don't get yourself out of a big inning.
Big cut there by Guillermo Patat. The throw was cut off by Ochoa coming across from first base as you track the runner across the infield, as a good first baseman should do. In for a called strike, possibly on the swing there as well. And that kept Van Lieshout at second base. That works well for the Gremlins. That's good defense, Joe. We talked about that in our opening as well. Big swing and a miss, comes up empty for the second out of the inning. That'll bring us to Matt Ratliff. He's been up in the order, he's been down in the order as the Dukes continue to keep the chemistry going.
Ratliff 5 for 11 in the tournament with a home run and 5 RBIs.
And this is a guy, Joe, who over the last few years has really brought his game up several levels and continues to impress me. He's on the USA national team. Great defense out in the outfield from Matt, too. He's a tall guy. We've seen several plays with him reaching back over the fence and making catches.
Covers a lot of territory.
Called strike in the inside corner. So they went with a hit for Federico Eder. I was starting in that camp, but like I said, I lean towards error at the end of the day. Nonetheless, it's up on the board officially as a hit. There's a called strike. So 2 hits have led to the run, and we still got 2 runners aboard. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Matt Ratliff here in the bottom of the first inning. Circle Top Dukes already a run in, looking to add more. Here's a high chopper on the infield. Kirkpatrick turns, spins, and throws a strike to Eric Ochoa at first base to get the speedy Matt Ratliff. The Dukes, plate 1, strand 2. We are through 1 complete. Circle Top 1, New York Gremlins, no score.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
Come on, Chewy! Come on, Chewy, right now!
Back here on the ISC network, and we're going to chat with Jakub Kopriva of Czech softball. And Jakub, you got in yesterday afternoon. You've been following the Bare Bottom Lodge team with a couple of your national team players. What are your thoughts here seeing them at the ISC World Tournament?
Hey Blair and Joe, thanks for having me. First of all, I got to say it's been great for me to see them guys play at this level and get that far. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Michal Holobratic pitch that well. I mean, he has been a promising pitcher for some time now, but he's really getting there. And except for the game today where he got hammered. Well, it's not really hammered, but yeah, he got hit a bit. Well, what I saw before, he was doing terrific, and the other three guys really were a great part of the team as well.
Well, the team that I managed here this week, we played Michael Holobratic in the Bare Bottom Lodge in our very first game back on Saturday night under the lights, and our team was very impressed with his rise ball. Was able to spot it for strikes as well as the drop and mixed in a change. And he's only, what, 21 years old?
I think he'll be turning 21 in like a week or two.
So a very promising prospect for the national team.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's actually it's funny that you mentioned that he had a good rise ball, because usually his strongest pitch is a drop ball. But from what I saw here, he's really working his rise ball as well. They were mixing it really well with the catcher. I think that was Brandon Rutt. Brandon Rutt, yeah, I think he did a terrific job as well. They were really spotting the spots, and he was hitting them pretty well. So yeah, he's been working hard with our fitness coach as well. He's been playing for several months straight, actually, because he was in New Zealand over the winter. So yeah.
Eric Ochoa lines this one. That's going to get past the outstretched glove of right fielder Manuel Godoy. It's going to one hop over the fence, and a ground rule double for Eric Ochoa. So the Gremlins with a leadoff man in scoring position for Ladislao Malor-Zuk. Now, Jakub, you have got the Intercontinental Cup coming up in Prague at your facilities in Prague. It's a test event for next year's World Cup. But let's start with the Intercontinental Cup. You've got 8 top international teams coming in. First event of this kind in several years.
Definitely, it's great that the WBSC is sanctioning this event. It's a great opportunity for the guys and the Olders to test everything out before the Worlds. It's a great opportunity for us, for our team, to face some of the game's best players. We're hoping that we will eventually get 8 teams, because Botswana, they still haven't confirmed from what I heard from back home, but I'm hoping that they will get their tickets and then fly over for this great event.
There's an opportunity for a couple of broadcasters to come if you've got some openings available.
Well, actually, now that you're mentioning it, obviously, I was looking for a couple of people to join me on the broadcast, because it will be mostly me doing the announcing, other than the Czech games, because I'm also team manager of our team, so I don't think it would be right for me to call our games as well.
Well, you could call them from the dugout. If you could
maybe, yeah. Well, maybe I'll do an interview or something. But yeah, if you guys are interested, the only thing you got to do is show up in Prague. The rest will be taken care of.
You just have to get there. Well, I have some airline points. Boy, I'm really thinking hard about this now.
All right, we'll talk about it later. Yeah,
we absolutely will.
Yes, we will.
So you got 8 teams coming in. Let's see if we can list all of them. New Zealand, of course, the Black Sox, the defending world world champions. Team USA is coming in.
North America.
Obviously the Czech Republic.
Argentina for South America. Japan for Asia.
Yep.
And Botswana for Africa, and Denmark. That will be
Denmark is
team
from Europe.
for Europe, and we as the Czechs, we're there because we're organizing
it. Of course,
yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about the international flavor of the ISC just right before you came up, just setting the stage for this. And our team had a South African pitcher, obviously Michael Holobratic here pitching this week for the Czech Republic. You've got Roman Godoy from Argentina, Andrew Kirkpatrick from Australia. Great to see all of this international, and then you're going to get all of the teams together in one place. How big is softball in the Czech Republic? You guys have been kind of an emerging team in the international scene.
I think there are about 6,000 registered players. We've got 2 nationwide leagues, a couple of regional leagues as well. A lot of kids are getting into softball lately, I think. I mean, there's always been the huge animosity between fastball and baseball, because obviously baseball is stealing a lot of the young talent that could be playing fastball. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a big sport, but it's a great community, and it really reminds me of what I can see here. Obviously here it's on a much larger scale, but it's really similar to that. There's a lot of people who are doing a lot for the game. Our top leagues got pretty good quality. We're getting a lot of international players in as well.
Zenon Winters gets into this one on a line and into the grandstands, and the Gremlins take the lead on a line shot home run from Zenon Winters as Eric Ochoa crosses the plate, and now Mr. Winters. And just like that, the New York Gremlins strike back to get back on top here in this winners bracket final. We're chatting with Jakub Kopriva of Czech softball. Is the game mainly focused in Prague in the Czech Republic, or is it in outlying communities as well?
There's teams outside of Prague as well. Actually, the reigning champions, they won twice in a row. That's the Havlíčkův Brod Hippos. That's where Karel Kadečka and Michal Holbradek are from, or that's the team that they play for. They have a great facility there. They'll be hosting part of the World Cup or World Championship next year. They did a test run this year with the Euros. That was late June. That was a big event for us as well. A lot of fans turned up. Great coverage by the media. And so yeah, most of the teams are in Prague, but there's plenty of teams in other parts of the country.
So a bit of a miscommunication here by Circle Tap Dukes. Daniel Dalton went a long way out in the outfield, kept waiting for Manuel Godoy to call him off. Godoy saw Dalton coming and never did. That is the outfielder's ball all day long.
Definitely.
He has to call Daniel Dalton off and make that play. That's a catchable ball, and it results in a double for Brian Avery, who alertly saw the confusion and just kept running. And you know, Joe Todd, we talked off the top about defense. That's a defensive miscue there by Circle Tap Dukes.
Godoy was playing very deep too in that ball. Had a long way to run, but should have been able to track it down.
Nick Mullins at the plate, the 9 batter, and chatting with Jakub Kopriva of Czech softball. You've got a lot of special activities built around the Intercontinental Cup. Let's talk about the All-Star game between the Euro players and the New Zealand Black Sox.
Yeah, that will be held on the Sunday of September the 2nd. That's right after the Intercontinental Cup. So the Black Sox are going to relocate to Havlíčkův Brod. That's the town that I already mentioned. And Team Europe players are going to gather as well. The coaching staff that consists of our 2 coaches, that's Tomáš Kusí, Jaroslav Korčák. Then I think they have Kevin Stockford of Great Britain, and I think there's someone from the Dutch team as well. So they selected a good group of players. I think Kyle Linton is actually supposed to make
my
an
good friend
appearance
Kyle
there.
Linton, who lives in the Toronto area but pitches for Great Britain due to his ancestry, and I'm told, Kyle is going to be over there to be able to pitch in that, from what I understand. So should be a competitive game.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we'll have Kyle, also Kim Hansen.
And
I think he pitched a no-hitter here.
Kim pitched not only a no-hitter but a one-hitter as well here this week, and then you've got Michael Holobratic.
Yeah, we've got Holobratic. So the plan is for this game to be a 10-inning game. We'll go 7 innings like a regular game, trying to win, play as hard as we can, and then 3 extra innings to get a chance for everybody on Team Europe to appear, get an at-bat or a run, or at least play an inning in the fields, because some of the smaller softball nations in Europe are also sending players, because in Europe it's usually the top 4 countries are obviously us, Great Britain, Denmark is a
Yeah.
powerhouse, and Holland.
The Dutch team. Yep.
They've been up and coming. They finished second at the Euros this year, which was a bit of a surprise for everybody. But we'll also have a guy from Israel, from Sweden, from Germany, from pretty much all the countries. So their national team coaches were supposed to pick one player to represent them on Team Europe. So yeah, we're really looking forward to this. It will be broadcast live.
Oh, great.
Definitely. So
Where will we be able to watch that?
I think it will be broadcast by Playo.tv, and I think it will be running on Baseball Softball TV or something. I think that's a new platform. You'll get all the latest information about this through Softball Europe or Czech Softball. So follow us on Facebook, and you'll find out more.
We'll keep an eye out for that. How are the preparations going for the World Cup next year?
So first part of the preparations was the Euros in Havlíčkův Brod. There was they actually security-wise and organization-wise, they did everything the way they will be doing it next year. So they had the fire department, a lot of policemen, and everything.
Yeah.
So they're really looking to organize a really good tournament. Now Joders, that's the Prague team, the Prague venue that will be hosting the Worlds. They'll now have the chance to test everything out. They've got an experienced organizing committee and a lot of volunteers. They've organized a lot of European events.
For those who have seen the videos that have circulated around YouTube, it looks like an absolutely gorgeous facility. It's situated on a hilltop, right?
Yeah. So if you walk a couple of minutes from the ballpark, you get an amazing view of the river. It really is a great facility run by our head coach, actually, Tomáš Kusi, his team Joders. And they built a great clubhouse. They have two good fields. Unfortunately, they're not far enough apart for you to have two men's fields. But there's definitely space for a room for one men's field. So yeah, it's a great place to be, and I'm sure the local people are gonna put on a great show.
So we look forward to all of that. Coming up this fall still is the European tournament, the Super Cup as it's known.
Yes, that will be actually right after the Monday after the Team Europe against the Black Sox game.
There's a chopper up the middle. Dalton goes a long way to get it, but they're not going to get Matthew Waugh on that play. Up to third, and Brian Avery was worried about the throw coming his way. He took 2 steps around and then laid out to reach back for the bag, but the throw had gone the other way.
Good range by Dalton to keep that ball in the infield, though. Stop that run.
Definitely, that would have brought the run in.
So runners on the corners now for Jerome Remeke.
Yeah, I think we should be seeing this guy at the Intercontinental Cup as well. I mean, looking at the boards you have here, you can see some of the names. I think Anoka is definitely going to be there. Eder, Godoy, Latassa. I mean, pretty much a lot of the Argentinian guys who were here this week. There's like 30 of them or something, right? We talked earlier about the photo that they took together. I mean, there's been plenty of great talent from Argentina. There's a couple of guys from the Black Sox who will be bringing a young, promising team to our event.
Yeah, there's a lot of younger New Zealand players who are going to that, and some turnover on the Black Sox too. But you'll be getting a great game with the Euro All-Stars taking on the Black Sox in early September. We had the Team Canada coach here up earlier in the week, John Stewart, and I asked him, what was the priority, and they wanted to get a look at the Canadian players playing against the peers. They felt that. And maybe budget related as well, that they just didn't have the opportunity to go over to the Czech Republic this year. With that said, the Intercontinental Cup, 8 great teams. World Cup next year, is it going to be a 16
Yeah,
teams?
It's 16 teams. Should be 2 pools of 8 teams. But they're not going to be separated into 2 towns, obviously, because we want to play a couple of games in Havlíčkův Brod as well so that Czech fans get to see us play the Worlds. I mean, it's a huge event for everybody involved, because that's going to be the first time the Worlds will have been held in Europe.
Yep.
And it means a whole lot to everybody in Czech softball and in our softball community.
Is that a qualifying event?
Yes.
Yes, they have to qualify to get in that?
Yeah, so we actually had to finish in the top 3 at the Euros.
At one point, the men's team was an open.
Say goodbye, Gracie, to that one, as off the dugout roof on the opposite diamond, Jerome Remeke sends one into the gray sky here, and the New York Gremlins burst out in front now, 5-1. And Joe, we talked off the top about trying to hold the Gremlins down, not letting them get into big innings, but they've done exactly that here in the second inning. 5 runs and counting. The strength of a couple of home runs. Zenon Winters first, and now here is a line shot, a big line shot off the bat of Jerome Remeke.
4 extra base hits this inning.
And I don't think they're done yet. I mean, Ben Anoka is always a threat. Anytime he steps to the plate, you got to watch out. And with Kirkpatrick on deck, yeah, Godoy is going to have to really throw hard.
Well, one of the things that we had talked about coming into this game was Ramon Godoy and his familiarity with the New York Gremlins, but we forget that they're also familiar with him. So they have seen a lot, of course, of Ramon Godoy and know what his tendencies are. So right now, the New York Gremlins getting the best of Ramon Godoy. And you just tell by the body language right there from Ramon Godoy that he knows he's in trouble here and has had a real rough inning of his team now trailing 5-1, having squandered that early lead that they picked up. Ground ball to the shortstop, Federico Eder. They get out of the inning, but not before the New York Gremlins pounce for 5 runs on 5 hits. They take a 5-1 lead. We will head to the home half of the second. Stay with us. We're going to continue chatting with Jakub Kopriva of Czech softball here on the ISC network. A legendary pitcher. Unbreakable records.
That's got a mile. Goes a mile high to the wall, to the track. Saved by baseball.
And that ball's lifted up and going back to left field. What a great grab. Off speed is deep, and you can get out of this ballpark.
5 Hall of Famers. 3 World Championships.
And that ball is driven out deep.
From Walker is driven deep. Shane Boland to the fence. It's gone. Shane Boland has hit the game-winning home run.
The Toronto Gators, gone but not forgotten. So back here on the ISC network, we're chatting with Jakub Kopriva of Czech softball, and we were just flipping through the ISC guide and talking about the history of the ISC. When did softball start in the Czech Republic?
Well, organized batting sports started about 50 years ago. I think it was 1963. So more than 50 years. We'll be celebrating our 55th anniversary. But the first baseball game in Czechoslovakia, I think, was played in Pilsen in 1919. The sport was brought to the country by this guy named Joe First. He was with the YMCA, and the Boy Scouts and whatnot. So he introduced the game, and that's where it all started. Then in 1963, our honorary president, Mr. Aleš Hrabě, he set up an official organization at the Czechoslovak Sports Union, and that's where they started with organized softball and baseball. Because back in the day, a lot of the teams would play both softball and baseball.
Right. Leo Latassa down on strikes here, leading off the bottom of the second inning for the Circle Top Dukes. Takes us to Tommy Crouch. Talk about your minor development system. You've got a very good under-19 program, developing the likes of Michael Holobratic. What about below that, as the age changes now with the WBSC going to U23 and U18? What does your youth program look like?
Well, they're going to adjust everything to that decision made by the WBSC. There's been a lot of talk about it, and there still is a lot of talk about it back home. I mean, all the coaches are complaining about the necessary changes they're going to have to make. But yeah, I think there's organized games all the way up from B-ball, T-ball, Now even the under-15 team, they had the first European Championship last year. We never used to have that. I mean, the girls in Europe have always played European champs, cadet girls, which is under 15. So they started that last year. They're going to continue with that. The problem is that I mean, we do have pretty good development programs, but the other countries don't really have that many kids, that much talent. So it's been tough sometimes to find teams to play against. So
find the competition.
Definitely. So that's why we want to play as many games against foreign teams, international teams as we can. I mean, even the junior boys in preparation to the Junior Worlds, they would travel to Florida or Argentina, just face good pitching play against men's teams as well.
Yeah, your team, your country has invested in the program, and it's obviously paid results. As Daniel Dalton will reach aboard here with a high one hopper over the head of Eric Ochoa, and I'm not sure who Ladislaw Malherzuk was throwing that to. We almost hit Dalton with it, and Ochoa turned to look at him and said, "Who are you throwing that to?" So Dalton aboard with a base runner here with 2 down in the second inning, and we'll just wrap things up with Jakub Kopriva. It's been great to see the investment by the Czech Republic in its program, the development of the program. You guys have traveled all over the world with the junior men's team and with the men's team, and from our perspective, it's certainly paid off as you guys have really become one of the top competitive teams in men's fastball.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough to have great funding from the state. I mean, from what I heard about some of the other top men's world teams, very often they have to pay for everything themselves. Yes. I mean, for us, we really get great support. The guys only have to focus on playing ball, so we've been really fortunate, and we hope that all that investment eventually pays off at the Worlds next year, where we're hoping to improve on our best ever finish, which was 6th place in East London, South Africa, in 2000. But that was back when we still had Luboš Verbensky, the ISF Hall of Famer. But we're hoping that Michael Holobratic will get as good as Luboš Verbensky once was. But it's going to take a lot of work because that guy's work ethics were incredible.
Yeah, and you've got to get the surrounding, the supporting cast as well. But you've got some really good players who hopefully will still be around over the next few years as that program continues to develop. Jakub, it's been great talking with you here on the ISC Network. We thank you
for having me,
for joining us here up in the booth.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. Just like to give a shout out to everybody back home.
Please do.
Who's watching us. So yeah, hey guys, it's been great for me to be here to see the ISCs. I really recommend that to everyone. You should come down next year to Denmark, Wisconsin. I'm certainly going to consider it.
It's going to be a fabulous ISC in 2019. We hope that you do. You come back and join us up here in the booth, and I'll tell you what, hopefully some of us will get over to see you in Prague in the Czech Republic, whether it's for the Intercontinental Cup or perhaps more likely the World Cup. But there's a conversation that we would certainly love to have with you guys.
Oh, yeah. We'll catch up later.
All right, fantastic. Guys. Jakub, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the game. I'm going to go enjoy it myself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Here we have some more of our wonderful sponsors, MTP Consultants and HBC Planning, McCarthy Eastern Lawyers, the Green Tech, the city of Sycamore. And in construction, RBJ Global Holdings. The leadoff batter, number 23, the pitcher, Andrew Kirkpatrick. Eric Ochoa, London.
Back here in the ISC network, Joe had a great conversation with Jakub Kopriva from Czech softball, all of the preparations for the Intercontinental Cup, the Super Cup there, the Men's European Championship that will follow, the Black Sox game with the European All-Star team, and then, of course, the World Cup next summer. That will be starting June 13th in the Czech Republic, and maybe there's an opportunity to go.
Here's a good financial support by the state, too. That's the part that I like. Very good encouragement there.
Well, yeah, and he said they've had the opportunity for that men's team to travel around the world, and it really has paid dividends for them as they've played here in the ISC tournament a few years ago. I think most recently is 2012 in the ISC World Tournament with the Czech national team, and it has it's certainly, again, paid dividends, making the playoffs in Saskatoon in 2015.
That was the year they knocked off Argentina.
They did. They beat Argentina. I think they made the playoffs in 2017.
Yeah, they caught the last spot.
Kirkpatrick lifts them one way up and foul out of play. So we'll get caught back up on this one. Upstairs, Kirkpatrick had a notion to go, but it sails by everybody to the screen. And Joe, pitching change too that just noticed here now. Unfortunately, we don't get the changes up here, so bear with us as now on for the Dukes. It's Martin Gonzalez in to pitch for the Dukes. And here's another young Argentine prospect. Not yet on the national team that was at the World Cup, I don't think. Was he in White Horse? Martin Gonzalez?
I believe he was.
Was he? Okay.
Yes, he was.
I know it might have been, maybe that was his first time then. But a good young emerging prospect and has thrown well for Circle Tap here this year. Somebody will have to remind him you're supposed to keep that toe down in ISC play.
Good reminder might happen in between innings maybe, or should be mentioned to him by the blue staff.
Well, when you're showing the cleats to the catcher like that, that's not supposed to be allowed in ISC play, but the less said about that, the better at the moment. So the Gremlins with a big 5-1 lead, another runner on board. Big swing and a miss here, or swing and a foul back at least by Ochoa, who then gets clunked in the side of the helmet and off the shoulder as it came back off the screen.
First work for Martin Gonzalez in this tournament, too. Roman Godoy has towed the rubber for all 27 innings.
Has he done everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Ochoa has had several hard hit balls here this week. Swings and misses there, and you can see why with that swing. One of the few fastball guys, Joe, who has adopted the cross face guard, similar to what Luke Donaldson has been wearing with the Toronto Blue Jays when he's actually been in the lineup. You see it there, you got a good shot. You see it there across his chin. Big cut comes up empty. And Eric Ochoa down on strikes. Ochoa, a member of that U.S. national team that will be heading over to Prague. That'll bring up Ladislav Malerzuk on the Argentine national team.
Malerzuk tied with Andrew Kirkpatrick and Zenna Winters for the RBIs, but
hard ground ball, one hopper into the glove of Gonzalez to second for one and back to first. Don't think they got him at first. He's headed back there. I missed the sign by John Hand, to be honest, but Malarzouk back at the bag. So a fielder's choice. And he races Andrew Kirkpatrick. Went into second pretty hard there for a pitcher, too. I'm sure Greg Leather and Varm Matiosian were cringing seeing Cheese going into second. Cheese, of course, being Andrew Kirkpatrick. So Zenon Winters, who had that line drive home run just an inning ago. And he got the Gremlins on the board. That was followed up by that big 3-run moonshot by Jerome Remeke that landed on the dugout rooftop.
Zenna now has 8 RBIs in the tournament.
Yeah, it was funny. Zenon Winters, the first time he made All-World was last year. I was absolutely shocked by that. Here's a guy who's had a great career, and it was the first time he had made ISC All-World. You go back and look at some of the tournaments that he played in with the KW Twins, with the Farm, and
a little surprising.
Yeah, it was very surprising. Because, I mean, he's been around for 10, 12 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Just misses outside. Zenon, of course, is now running the men's national team program for Indonesia. He and his wife have made the move, and they have a big tournament there, the Makassar tournament. I want to say it's on the move is Malarzouk. This one is lifted out to left field. He's got room out there this time. Zane Van Lyshout will able to haul that one in, and that's third out of the inning. So Martin Gonzalez comes on and holds down the Gremlins, does his job. Now it's time for the Circle Tap Dukes to try and pick away at that 5-1 lead. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat. Back-to-back Jets! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis, 3-peats.
Adam Falkert, absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions.
2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Fittingly, it's Adam on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
ISC Canada East, home of champions. Zane Van Lyshout leading things off for the Circle Tap Dukes takes a strike as we go to the home half of the third inning here. Circle Tap trailing 5-1 to this powerhouse New York Gremlins team. Seemed like, Joe, they were purpose-built to beat the Hill United Chiefs. They still may have to beat the Hill United Chiefs before it's all said and done. Ground ball right back up the middle. Good bit of hitting there by Van Lyshout just to take that pitch right back where it came from. And he's aboard with a leadoff single. This is what the Dukes are going to need to do. They're going to need to chip away at this lead, try and get one here, one there. And if you can put up a picket fence over the next few innings, you'll get right back into this ball game.
Andrew tried to jam on that pitch, but the strength of Van Lyshout driving that ball up the middle.
Upper body strength.
Yes.
Manuel Godoy will come to the plate. Here's a guy who's been on the all-world team about the last 3 years in a row. Always seems to have good world tournaments for the Circle Tap Dukes. Perennial home run hitter.
having a great tournament at the plate. 8 for 12 coming into this game with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs.
Well, it looks like he's on his way to making the all-world team again. Juan Podolicio in his shiny pink shoes are warming up down the right field line. Wish we could get a shot of that. Up and in. Want to say hello to Aaron Durant and Brad Pender back at home in Ottawa. Aaron joined us earlier in the week on the broadcast. Brad Pender here, of course, with the Kingston Axemen. Swing and a miss by Manuel Godoy. Kind of chopped at that one, Joe. It didn't look like his usual swing.
Yeah, just a half a swing almost. I like the way Nick Mullins controls the game and keeps in control of Andrew Kirkpatrick, too.
Well, of course, he does a really good job out there, and you would expect that from Nick, of course. This one is chopped foul down the left side. You know, it's turned out to be a lovely night for a ball game. It's been overcast, which has kind of kept the temperatures down a little bit. And again, knock on wood, as long as this rain stays away, it's a perfect night to play a ball game. Hey, this one is going to drop in front of the right fielder, Mal Godoy, aboard with a base hit, going coast to coast with the head first slide in. Goes Zane Van Lyshout, and the Dukes have got something cooking here in the bottom of the third inning. 2 runners aboard.
Good aggressive base running there by Van Lyshout.
Is it Lee or Lie? I honestly have been going with Lie because I'm just reading it, but do we know?
I thought
Can somebody from New Zealand send something to us and let us know? Is it Van Lyshout or Van Lyshout? We'd just like to get it right. Please, somebody, Amanda, Rona, please send us something.
Jopper's probably listening.
This is how we got Ezekiel instead of Ezekiel. People corrected us and told us we want to get it right. Speaking of Blair Ezekiel at the plate, he's got an RBI for the Dukes here. He smashed one right back up the middle. And when you look on your monitor right there, you see just behind Andrew Kirkpatrick's left shoulder is second baseman Daniel Dalton. He's probably only seen 100 of Blair Ezekiel's at-bats this year. Dalton and Blair Ezekiel, of course, from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. They play in what is almost assuredly the very best men's league in North America. This one is lifted up to left, but it's in short. Matthew Waugh will settle under that. The bluff by Van Lyshout's cut off, and he will be chased right back to the bag by Jerome Remeke.
Manuel Godoy advancing down to second base on the throw.
Guillermo Patat will come to the plate, down on strikes back in the first inning. Swinging, can't come up with anything. 5 hits apiece for the Gremlins and the Dukes, but it's the runs that count, and the Gremlins have got 5 of those as well. 2 big home runs, one by Zenon Winters, one by Jerome Remeke. Called a strike, so down in a hole, 0-2 is Guillermo Patat. And after those 2 opening singles, Kirkpatrick has kind of bared down here a little bit.
Working a little bit harder.
And he's going to step off.
Patat with that very locked in, closed stance.
There's a little flare. Having to go back for it is first baseman Eric Ochoa. Almost ran into Ladislav Maller-Zuk. And that wouldn't have been a collision that Maller-Zuk would have wanted. I think Ochoa's probably got about 60, 75 pounds on him. So a little pop-up to the first baseman, and that will bring us to Matt Ratliff. Ratliff hit a little high hopper that was fielded nicely by Andrew Kirkpatrick. Joe, you had mentioned off the air that Andrew does a great job fielding his position.
Yes, he got a quick bounce off that mound.
Called strike right over the outside corner. Kirkpatrick has been working that corner to the lefties all night long. We're here in the bottom of the third inning. The Gremlins out in front 5-1 over the Dukes. This one is punch fouled on the left side.
There's somebody missing out of that Circle Tap Dukes lineup is Tyler Dudley. Tyler got hurt in that game and hurt his shoulder, remember, left the game.
That's right. He was jackknifing to get out of the way of an inside pitch, and as he went down, he dislodged his shoulder. There was a picture of him. I guess he was at the hospital today getting some IV and some treatment. Send our best wishes out to Tyler Dudley. I'm sure he's joining us somewhere. Fouled off to stay alive by Guillermo Patat, and that's a big hole in the lineup for the Circle Tap Dukes. Tyler Dudley provides power, provides speed, a good contact hitter. And when you take somebody like that out of the lineup, it does hurt.
That's in that top part of the order.
And he usually plays a pretty good second base, too. So Ratliff doing what he can here to work the count. Fouled off a bunch from Kirkpatrick. And here's a little flare. Kind of have to go back for it, but doing a good job there with the footwork is Jenner Christensen. And he will reel that one in. So after a pair of leadoff singles, the Gremlins strand 2. And we will go to the top of the fourth inning. New York out in front, 5-1.
When you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, you're at home. And you're never more at home than when you're at Kelly's Pub, right on famous George Street. Traditional live music and some of the best fish and chips in the city are what you'll get at Kelly's. One of the top fastball sponsors in the country is right here in St. John's. Kelly's Pub, live music, great food, and friendly service. Right around the corner is Three Cheers Pub, home of the 3-time Canadian national champions. Three Cheers is downtown St. John's friendly pub. Affordable drinks and great staff with buckets all day, every day. Three Cheers Pub is a proud fastball sponsor. Kelly's Pub and Three Cheers Pub, come and make yourself at home.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Back here on the ISC network, Brian Avery to lead things off for the New York Gremlins. Avery reached on a double that really should have been caught and now tries to lay a bunt down. That's not a part of Brian's game that you really expect, Joe.
Well, the corners are playing fairly deep right now, so I guess the coaching staff was looking at that, saying why not give it a try.
Avery, very athletic, runs very well for a guy who typically is a catcher, but playing right field, and that's the versatility that the Team Canada brass like. He can play third, first, corner outfield, and catch.
Very tough to keep him out of that lineup.
John Stewart and Team Canada here this week. We've had Team Canada up here. We've had Team USA, the Czech Republic.
I saw Les Howie earlier today.
And we had Nick Sabate, who was the former coach of Team Argentina, was touring the broadcast booth up here in between games. We were unable to get him to stay for an interview. But he was mentioning, Joe, that a lot of the Argentina players will go home for a few days as Avery slugs this into the 5.5 hole. And he's aboard for the second time tonight with a single.
Good quick hands by Avery.
For the runner at first, the batter is number 3, Nick Mullins.
So that brings up the 9 batter, Nick Mullins. Don't expect the Gremlins to bunt here whatsoever, Joe.
No.
Just misses on the, or just called a strike rather on the inside corner. Van Leeshout. Thanks to Norman Ames, who is sending that to us through the YouTube channel comments. And Norman, sorry I missed you. We couldn't connect when I was over in Holland a couple of weeks back. I think you were vacationing elsewhere. We may have crossed each other in the Amsterdam airport, but would have loved to have gotten together for an adult beverage or 3. So Van Leeshout, you were right. Guess I'm buying the first round.
Okay.
Mullins, good play over there by Tom Crouch. Had to dive for it from one knee. The sidearm underhand throw gets it over to first base in time to get Nick Mullins, and a web gem there for Tom Crouch.
Great defensive play there by Crouch. Go down and get that ball. Kept him on the ground, but the strength of his arm and his shoulders able to throw a bullet over to first base for the first out of the inning.
With one out and the runner moves to second, number 16, Matthew Waugh.
So back to the top of the shop for Matthew Waugh. Matthew singled and came around to score on the home run by Jerome Remeke. Called strike upstairs to the top of the zone. So Avery out at second base on that ground out by Mullins. Yet another runner in scoring position for the Gremlins. Just misses outside. Avery scurrying back as Daniel Dalton moves over to bird dog him a little bit over at second base. Joe, we had somebody write in ask about the contrasting jersey colors, and I find this one really easy. You got gray pants and a dark top on one team and a gray top and black pants on another. More than enough contrast for me.
And for the monitor.
And for the monitor at home there. So Matthew Waugh swings and misses, chasing upstairs a little bit there, Joe. I quite like these new circle top uniforms, and I'm a fan of the Gremlins stuff here too, to be honest with you. So works for me, and hopefully for the youngsters at home, works for them as well. Matthew Waugh lifts this one out to left. Coming across, make the catch on the run is the aforementioned Zane Van Leeshout. So 2 down in the inning. No opportunity there for Brian Avery to advance, and we will go to Jerome Remeke. A walk and a titanic home run here, clearing the game fence, the perimeter fence, the pathway, and onto the dugout of Diamond 2, which is directly behind the main diamond here. You can see it's that we changed the shot there. One more. There we are. You see where that blue tent is? Just to the right of that is where that ball landed on that red roof. Called strike. Producer Nick gave me the keys to the car, let me take it out for a spin earlier today. His production console. Had the training wheels on, though. I was only allowed to change shots. I was way out of my comfort zone. He said, yeah, here's how you do the commercials. I'm like, yeah, you know what? No. I'll have us off the air in 30 seconds. Chasing upstairs, strike 3. Down goes Jerome Remeke. Ryan Avery stranded out at second base. We'll go to the home half of the 4th inning. Still 5-1, Gremlins over the Dukes.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Var Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Back here in the ISC network, bottom of the 4th inning for the Circle Tap Dukes. We got pinch hitter Joe. Tommy Thompson, I believe. It is indeed Tommy Thompson stepping in for Leo Latassa. Leo went down on strikes back in the 2nd. And you had said Leo had only had a couple of hits, but he had a number of RBIs for the Dukes here.
Seems to get the big hits at the right time.
Nonetheless, a pinch hitter here in the 4th. Thompson, a longtime member of the Dukes. Also played with the Minnesota Angels in the Midwest. Swings over the top of that hard outside drop. Good snap from Andrew Kirkpatrick. Swing and a miss. Down goes Thompson. He didn't fare much better than Leo Latassa there. Kirkpatrick only let him hang around for 4 pitches in total. Tom Crouch, strikeout victim in the 2nd.
Just made a fine defensive play last inning.
Fouled that one straight back. Tom Crouch puts a lot of hard work into his game in the off-season training, scouting. And then this season took up
podcasting.
Thank you. I was searching for the word. I'm like, he took up something. I was hoping it would come to me. Obviously, you got it before I did. Did a great job, I thought, with the podcast, the Men's Major Fast Pitch podcast. Fortunate to be a guest on it a couple of times. He interviewed some players and coaches and administrators from all over the world and did a great job of producing that, sourcing out the software and everything to use, and getting them posted on social media and shared around the folks in the game. Great initiative, and I applaud Tommy for taking the time to do it. With a ground ball, one hopper in the glove of Andrew Kirkpatrick. He's an imposing figure out there to try and get anything past defensively, too.
Covers a lot of territory. Of course, his wingspan is
like a 7'47", yeah. He'd be like a 6'7" hockey goalie. So Daniel Dalton, who ripped a single back in the 2nd inning but was stranded. Danny, one of the younger players out of the Newfoundland factory. They just churn them out every year. Another good ball player. One ball, one strike. And this one right back up the middle. Daniel Dalton, 2-for-2 here this evening, doing his best to set the table for the top of the shop. We're going to turn over the order and get back to Federico Eder. Two speedy guys here, one at the bottom of the order, one at the top for the Dukes. That's how you want to set things up, Joe. You don't want any of those slow guys out there clogging up the base pass.
Circle Tap needed a big 2-out rally here.
Yeah, you'd like, if you're a Circle Tap fan, you would like the Dukes to score at least a 1 or 2 here and start to close that gap. Yes. Chasing 4 into the later innings gets really tough.
Especially the defense that the Gremlins have had tonight.
Looked like he wanted to drop down a bunt. That's a tough play with 2 out to try and beat that out. When you got the wheels that Eater does, maybe you can do it, but. Little excuse me, check swing foul. This game is fully into the grind innings at the moment, Joe. Working hard, trying to get through the inning. Swing and a miss by Eater is running through the box, feet moving, hands moving. It's a lot of moving parts. Kirkpatrick sets him down. Eater is going to take a jog out to first base as he thinks that somebody might have missed a call. He reminds me of the guy who picks up the loose ball in the football game and runs it back 90 yards the other way, hoping nobody will notice. He's going to take off the helmet now as he gets all the way out to second base and gets sent on his way by our first base umpire. Is that Rob Duran, I think it is, out there at first
John
base?
Hand.
John Hand out there at first base. So that must have been an interesting conversation. Anyway, we tracked that one all the way along. We're going to take the break. Come back with us here on the ISC Network.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn the 6 steps to the perfect swing and how the Exit Speed Swing developer can make it even better. Get more power from your swing and improve your game with Exit Speed Swing as Team Canada Junior Men's head coach Jeff Ellsworth walks you through hitting drills and training tips. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca and ExitSpeedSwing.com to put
Gremlins in the top of the 5th inning as we get fully into the grind innings. Ben lined out to left field and then hit a sharp shot to the shortstop, and this one is laced right down the line. Tom Crouch was over 3 steps and no opportunity to get that. Beninoka is aboard for the first time tonight. And Joe, you talk about some of the fastest guys in the game. Benny Anoka will go first to third as fast as or faster than anybody.
Well, hopefully we can see that on display.
Coming to the bat with a runner at first base, number 23, Kirkpatrick.
So I just noticed the white mask behind the plate. Guillermo Patat has gone into catch as the designated player. So I don't know, maybe something happened with Leo Latassa that we didn't see, Joe. He didn't come out for his at-bat, and now Patat is catching. Van Lieshout also catches, but they've elected to keep him out in left as far as we can tell. Cheese drills this one down the line and right. That's a fair ball. It's going to one-hop the fence. He's going to look and stride into second. Beninoka will trot home as he went first to third in a hurry and then able to trot home easily with the 6th run of the game for the Gremlins.
A lot of power there by Andrew Kirkpatrick. You talked about the wheels of Beninoka. easily scoring from first base. Now pinch runner going in for Andrew Kirkpatrick at second base.
That looks like our good friend number 15. Is it 15 or is it 77? Is that Chase Turner that went out there?
No,
He's blocking his number.
I think it's 17, is it?
No, I'm thinking that's
So
13, but
13?
I don't have a 13 in the Gremlins, or do we?
No.
No, I don't have a 13 here in the Gremlins roster, so I'm not sure who's out there running. New set of jerseys, you may get a different number on the lineup than what is often the case, but I think that's Blaine Milheim. I think so.
It's
just
Milheim, I
from
think.
the look. That's been their preferred runner of choice in the middle innings for Kirkpatrick. So we're going to go with Milheim. As Ochoa is at the plate. These are the perils of not working close to the scorekeepers. We don't get the changes up here in the broadcast press box. The scorer's tent is actually right down at field level, right adjacent to the first base dugout. Ochoa gets the bat through the zone in a hurry, doesn't he?
Yes. Real quick hands there. Joe kind of mad at himself that he missed that pitch. Trying to regroup.
Hopper on the infield. Dalton got to hurry to get Ochoa at the bag. Milheim over to third. Well, the Gremlins, Joe, showcased the power tonight. Last night we saw them bang out a whole bunch of singles against the Cubs. It was just single after single after single. It was like a drum beat. They just wore out the Cubs pitching last night. Duke's infield is in. Mallorzuk, ground ball to the pitcher, almost throws it wide.
Just about took too much time checking that runner at third base. Good stretch at first base there.
So 2 down and a runner at third. It'll be Zenon Winters. Zenon, that line drive home run. Pair RBIs back in the second inning.
Big swing there by Zenon Winters.
He doesn't ever really get cheated. And then a fly ball line shot to Matt Ratliff in center. Martin Gonzalez, I thought Joe had done a good job coming on in the third inning. He held the Gremlins off the scoreboard in the third and the fourth, but they plate one here in the fifth and extend that lead out to 6-1. The Dukes actually out hitting the Gremlins 8-6, but the Gremlins have had guys on base at the right time with the big boppers. Winters and Remeke with the big blows for the team in black tonight. Downstairs.
5 extra base hits there by the New York Gremlins tonight.
Yeah, and that's been the big difference, right? It's been mostly a bunch of singles for the Dukes, the extra base hits for the Gremlins. Most of those have come around to score. Winters lifts this one sky high out to left field. Zane Van Lieshout will settle under that. That ball almost came down with ice on it, Joe. So a run for the Gremlins. They now lead 6-1. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Dukes coming to the plate.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn the 6 steps to the perfect swing and how the Exit Speed Swing developer can make it even better. Get more power from your swing and improve your game with Exit Speed Swing as Team Canada Junior Men's head coach Jeff Ellsworth walks you through hitting drills and training tips. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca and exitspeedswing.com to put your game over the top.
Back here on the ISC network, Zane Van Lieshout, who had to settle under that huge fly ball from Zenon Winters to end the top of the 5th, will lead things off here in the home half. Juan Podolicio in his pink shoes are back up throwing for the Gremlins down the right side. You can imagine that's anything other than just a little bit of getting loose, Joe. Andrew Kirkpatrick seems to have this one under control.
I would think just trying to get some extra work in, get his throws in for the day.
Well, he's throwing pretty hard over there, so maybe coming in, maybe they think that the 5-run lead is enough.
I like to see that, though. I like to see that extra pitcher getting his work in, showing that to the team management, I'm ready to go.
Van Lieshout singled back in the 3rd, worked a walk in the 1st, been on base twice. Hasn't been able to get cashed, though. Blair Ezekiel had the RBI single all the way back in the 1st inning. That's been it for the Dukes. They've had a whole bunch of base runners, but just haven't been able to cash them. Can't bunch them together at the right time. Joe, it's been a busy day here on Elimination Friday, I think, as Lance coined the term. 4 big games in the bottom of the bracket. Why don't you give us the rundown?
The Kitchener-Hallman Twins knocked off the North River Monsters by a 7-0 score at the 10 o'clock game in the morning. At 12 noon, J&B Bombers won 4-0 over the Bear Bottom Lodge.
Well, I just wanted to say that was a good finish by North River to get into the top 8. Down on strikes goes Zane Van Lieshout, leading things off here in the 5th inning. You know, we've been talking about North River for the last 2 years. A new team here in the ISC formed out of a core group of players coming out of junior. Actually, some of them still in junior since they changed the age bracket. And to get into the top 8 at this age, I think quite an accomplishment. Ran into Scott Life, who was a buzzsaw for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins today. But a top 8 finish for North River, a great accomplishment for the young lads.
That team can stay together. They're going to be reckoned.
Absolutely.
The next couple of years.
Hope to see it, too. Hope to see it.
J&B Bombers winning the 4-0 game at the 12 o'clock time. 2 o'clock game was Kitchener-Hallman Twins.
Let's just go one at a time here.
Sure.
We'll try and talk about them a little bit.
Okay.
You did the JB Bombers game with Lance today, and they got to Michael Holobradic in that game.
Yes, Holobradic just didn't have it today. The real good pitching performance by the J&B Bomber team, though.
Patrick Burns got the win in that one, picked up his 2nd win of the tournament, and a lot of strikeouts in that one. Patrick Burns, a good young pitching prospect for Team Canada.
In the all-Kitchener game, the Kitchener-Hallman Twins against the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs, the Twins coming away with a 4-0 victory.
And again, they got to Huemo Mata early in that one, and I think that was the difference. He wasn't able to keep the Twins off the scoreboard.
And in our 4 o'clock game, it was Hill United Chiefs with a 7-0 score over the J&B Bombers, who had won that 12 o'clock game.
Well, the story there, of course, the perfect game, a 5-inning perfect game by Pablo Migliavaca. Blair Ezekiel, hard one hopper out to Jenner Christensen, turn, spin, throw, and get Blair Ezekiel. 3 up, 3 down go the Circle Tap Dukes, couple of strikeouts and a ground out we'll go to the top of the 6th. We'll come back with more on those earlier games as we work through the winter bracket final. New York Gremlins looking to punch their ticket to the ISC championship game. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
To an ISC event? Stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Back here on the ISC Network, and it's Brian Avery again leading things off for the New York Gremlins. Brian has a single, a double. I don't know if he'll get the chance for the cycle tonight, Joe, as we're already in the top of the 6th, but maybe you can get 3/4 of the way there.
I think that Gremlin sweater would have been nicer with that white number. Or the green with a little white outline on the number.
Yeah,
a little deeper.
The outline is in gray, not green.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, not white. Had they done the outline of the number in white, yeah, I agree. It would be certainly contrast a little bit more anyway. Good catch there by Matt Palazzo, who is going to bat for Nick Mullins. Palazzo's been battling some injuries and relegated to coming off the bench here this week, normally a starter for the Gremlins. Wants to come back up to the booth, too. If you remember, Joe, back in 2016, we had Matt in the booth for a game, and the lights went out. We never got that game finished with Matt on the air, and he's been dying to come back ever since. This one is lifted up. Foul territory. Got room over there, and a good grab by Blair Ezekiel, ranging back to his left. That's not Blair Ezekiel anymore. That is Manuel Godoy, who's come into first. And again, we don't get the changes here. We have to kind of spot them. Dalton has gone out to right.
Good, come on!
Eder, I think, Joe, has moved over to second.
Eder moved last night to second as well.
Palazzo, big swing, comes up empty. I'm just trying to see who then is playing short. Crouch is still at third. Sorry, folks. Again, we don't get the changes. Here's a two-hopper out to the unknown shortstop, and he fires over to first for the out. See if he turns here. Going to kick some dirt, turn, and not turn enough for us. Oh, there it is. 11. No, that is Eder, still at short. So we got somebody else over at second base. Is that still Dalton?
That's still Dalton. I think that's still Dalton.
Just be imagining things. Godoy is definitely at first. Matty Waugh is at the plate. So Matthew Waugh singled back in the second inning, came around to score on the Remeke home run. A ground out and a fly out. So if this score holds, Joe, it will be the New York Gremlins in the ISC championship game for the first time since 2013, when they lost 1-0 to the Hill United Chiefs in 10 innings. Gonzalez slips and falls. There's been a lot of difficulty with that landing zone all week. We'll be on the air for 3 big games starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Kitchener-Hallman Twins, Hill United Chiefs. That's a rematch of the 2014 championship game that was held here, Peter Hallman Ball Yard. The loser of this game, currently right now, it stands to be the Circle Tap Dukes. Could change. They'll play the winner of the Twins-Hill game, not scheduled for a 1:30 start time tomorrow afternoon. And then 7 p.m. scheduled start time, the ISC championship game. There's a Legends championship game in between. So a walk to Matthew Waugh. And that will bring up Jerome Remeke. The run rule comes into play here with Remeke at the plate. On the move, Matthew Waugh slides in safely. And you know that's exactly what's on the Gremlins' mind, Joe. If you can save even 1 inning on the arm of Andrew Kirkpatrick, you're going to do it.
Yes, good ploy by the management staff to try and get the team off the field.
And I wonder if that's the conversation that Manuel Godoy and Varm Matosian are having from first base coach box to, with Varm it could be anything, of course.
Yeah.
Here's a little squibber up the middle. Dalton ranges over, throws, gets him at the first base. That's a good play by Daniel Dalton, ranging to his right and then throwing back across his body to get Jerome Remeke. So we will go to the bottom of the 6th here on the ISC network. Early, getting late here for the Circle Tap Dukes. Need a bunch to get back into this one. Stay with us.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
Guillermo Patat will lead things off for Circle Tap Dukes. Strikeout and a pop-up for Guillermo tonight. Matt Ratliff and I'm going to guess it's Tommy Thompson, I believe, if he stayed in the game. Chopped foul by Guillermo Patat. Not sure what happened with Leo Latassa. We'll have to try to find out for you, because that makes things a bit different for Circle Tap Dukes, too, if they've lost Latassa, their number 1 catcher. Big cut comes up empty, Guillermo Patat.
You talked about the arm that
Well, Latasa has a great arm behind the dish. It's very difficult to steal a base on Latasa, and you should catch them by surprise. You saw Matthew Waugh steal second base there relatively easily a half inning ago. Right back up the middle, but not Daniel Dalton, that's Ladislav Malor-Zuk in perfect position. Apparently he has seen Guillermo Patat several times, as you would expect, in their league down in Paraná. You have to wonder what is the best league in South America. There's the league that plays in Paraná at that terrific stadium that they've got down there.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the Southern League in Venezuela with Sereno Soy and some of the other teams with Ramon Jones and Eric Urbanea and some of the other Venezuelans. Tough for the Venezuelans to get into Canada. Their country is in difficulty. Here's a real good defensive play. Just got him at first base. Coming across, Ladislav Malor-Zuk, the underhand quick toss to Eric Ochoa at first, and that is some good defense. Joe Todd, you talked about defense off the top. The Gremlins have been just about flawless. Can't quite say the same for the Dukes tonight.
Yes, the defense of the Gremlins has been outstanding. The infield has made some fantastic plays. Great grabs by the outfielders. Mullins has been sharp behind the plate.
Yeah, Tommy Thompson did stay in the game for Leo Latasa. Swing and a miss, comes up empty. And boy, Andrew Kirkpatrick looks like he's just getting stronger here, Joe.
Well, as the game progresses, as we saw that with other games too, pitchers kind of need an inning or two to warm up with, and then as the game progresses, it's that much harder to get a hit off them.
Well, we saw that with Sean Cleary a couple of evenings ago as Sean struck out 11 of the final 12 batters that he faced.
Kind of had that same pattern today against the Cubs.
Speaks to the importance of getting runs early. Circle Top got one. You knew that was not likely to be enough, and the Gremlins roared right back with 5 in the second. Here's a one-hopper out to Remeke. Strong throw over to first, and a 1-2-3 inning. 3 ground balls using the defense. Andrew Kirkpatrick and the Gremlins continue to lead 6-1.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener Rivershire Twins repeat. Back to back Jets! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis. 3-peats.
Adam Falter. Absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions.
2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Finally, it's Adam on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
ISC Canada East, home of champions. Ben Anoka to lead things off for the New York Gremlins. Benny singled in the 5th, came around to score. And this one is going to be lifted foul and out of play down the right side and chase somebody off the fence. 6 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the New York Gremlins. just the lone run on 8 hits for the Circle Tap Dukes, but as Joe mentioned earlier, the Gremlins hits have mostly been of the extra base variety, and they have come when guys have been on base. The Dukes just haven't been able to bunch any of them together. Get one here, one there, or even 2 here in an inning, but it's not been enough to get anybody across the plate other than Blair Ezekiel had a timely base hit all the way back in the first inning.
Just never had that big inning.
Swing and a foul back. Andrew Kirkpatrick awaits on deck. They've pinch run for Andrew once already, so he has to bat and he has to run here in the 7th. He will come out, presumably, to pitch the bottom of the 7th inning. Called third strike, and folks, remember that one. You do not often see Benny Anoka called out on a third strike. So Kirkpatrick has done some damage here today. Singled, doubled, an RBI. Runs the bases very well. Swings and misses here. I'm sure every time he's out there on base, though, Greg Leather is just holding his breath, hoping that he doesn't turn an ankle or catch a cleat or something.
Hit a home run so you can take your time.
Oh, he slid into second base the other, second or third base the other night. I forget which, but he slid into a base. Yeah, second base, that's right. And I'm sure everybody in the Gremlins bench was just cringing in fear.
Martin Gonzalez has done a good job in his 4 innings of work. Just allowed the 1 run, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 2 walks.
Yeah, absolutely. He has worked very well with Guillermo Patat, I thought. And you're right, just that 1 run. That was the single by Anoka, and then the RBI double by Kirkpatrick. Swing and a miss there. Strikes out Kirkpatrick. They set him down for the first time since the first. A pair of strikeouts here in a row. That will bring up Eric Ochoa. The Gremlins not electing to empty the bench tonight. The other night, boy, they used just about everybody in the lineup card. For those who follow the Gremlins, you know that they do like to work Varm Matosian into the games early in tournaments. And Varm 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs at the top of the batting table.
It's going to be a long winter.
You can bet it's going to be a long winter. Called strike on the outside corner. That's a real good pitch there from Martin Gonzalez. Big swing and a miss. Comes up empty. Down goes Eric Ochoa. Gonzalez strikes out the side in the top of the 7th. Last call at Circle Tap. Time to get something done.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
When you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, you're at home. And you're never more at home than when you're at Kelly's Pub, right on famous George Street. Traditional live music and some of the best fish and chips in the city are what you'll get at Kelly's. One of the top fastball sponsors in the country is right here in St. John's. Kelly's Pub, live music, great food, and friendly service. Right around the corner is 3 Cheers Pub, home of the 3-time Canadian national champions. 3 Cheers is downtown St. John's friendly pub. Affordable drinks and great staff with buckets all day, every day. 3 Cheers Pub is a proud fastball sponsor. Kelly's Pub and 3 Cheers Pub, come and make yourself at home.
Tom Crouch swings and fouls back. The first offering from Andrew Kirkpatrick as we bring you back from George Street in St. John's, Newfoundland to Peter Holman Ball Yard here in Kitchener, Ontario. Blair Setford, Joe Todd here on the ISC Network. It's been a full day of terrific ISC fastball, culminating here in the winners bracket final. 5 great games here on the ISC Network. We've got 3 more coming to you tomorrow. It's Championship Saturday, Joe Todd. This week seems to have just flown by.
Get to wear our red shirts.
Oh, you and your red shirts on championship days. Were you Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods fan.
Yes, we'll wear red tomorrow. Which one?
Network.
The network one? All right. That's fine. I've been saving it for you all week, I know. I'm going to call an audible one day. I'm going to wear white just to see your reaction. Joe Todd is our fashion coordinator here during the ISC week. We didn't quite get coordinated today. You've got navy blue, I've got black. But normally we try to put on something similar so people at least know we're on the same team. Joe looks after all of that.
Lance got the memo.
You had sent the memo to Lance and you didn't send. Oh. Gee. Crouch rips at this one, fouls it straight back. Tom Crouch, Daniel Dalton, and Federico Eder, the scheduled batters for the Denmark, Wisconsin-based Circle Top Dukes. They'll be the host team next year and building a real good squad towards hosting next year. Down on strikes goes Crouch. Had a tough night against Andrew Kirkpatrick. 2 strikeouts and a tapper back to the big man. Daniel Dalton, on the other hand, is having a night against Kirkpatrick. 2 for 2, pair of hard hit singles right back up the middle.
Kirkpatrick done his work on the mound with 9 strikeouts, just the 1 walk.
And turned up the dial there. Wow, he just reached back and blew that one right on by Daniel Dalton. Still throwing hard here in the 7th. And this one is a little foul up. They got room down the side here, sliding in to make the breadbasket catch. Jerome Remeke right into the feet of Federico Eder in the on-deck circle. And that's a good big league play right there by Jerome Remeke, recognizing there's an obstacle and getting the feet out and cushioning the ball into the breadbasket. So the Dukes down to their final out here in the winners bracket final. Zane Van Lieshout fouls it back. Sorry, Eder. My bad. Jumping ahead of myself. Federico Eder at the plate. And the bunt attempt, and this one is going to fall foul.
Eder trying to surprise everyone. The corners are playing way back. Obviously, they give up that extra base.
Swing and a miss upstairs. Strike 3. That's the ball game. The New York Gremlins are off to the ISC championship game. The Circle Top Dukes will play in the losers bracket final tomorrow. Joe Todd, your thoughts tonight? The Gremlins looking pretty good.
Great pitching performance by Andrew Kirkpatrick. 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Just gave up the 1 run early in the game, the leadoff batter, Federico Eder. And so they put on a great performance, and then they woke their bats up with those 5 runs and 5 hits in that second inning.
We talked early about scoring early, scoring often. The Dukes wanted to stay out of the big inning against the Gremlins. The Dukes did score early, but they couldn't stay out of that big inning. Joe, as you said, it's going to be an awful tough order for somebody to play multiple games tomorrow, what's expected to be a pretty warm day, and beat this Gremlins squad. Right now, the favorites, obviously, to be the new ISC World Champions. But there's going to be 3 other teams that are going to have something to say about that tomorrow. Come back and join us at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on the ISC Network. From our broadcast partner, Joe Todd. everybody else has been up here in the booth today, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it, and we will see you tomorrow.